Hello, I'm Chelsea Torres, and firstly, I'd like to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of the termination of parental rights from PANI and Texas CPS. Firstly, I'll start off with PANI's advantages. I think one of their advantages is that parents are giving a second chance to change their behaviors. I think they consider the fact that some of their behaviors they might not change from one day to another. It gives them more time for that, and also there's also situations that might be causing them stress. So those situations might take even longer to solve, so they know that 6 months might not be enough time for them to have their things together. And also another advantage is that it shows that they really value family. They want to keep the child together with the family. They don't want to separate them. That way they don't have to go to someone else that they don't know. One of Bunny's disadvantages is that since the parents are given more time after the 6 months, they might take that time for granted as well, because they might think that there will be allotted more time if they mess up or if they don't meet the standards. And also, they might not make a great effort to change the destructive behaviors that are affecting the child. As a result of that, the child can experience more traumatic things, and it can also put their life in danger. The advantages of how Texas CPS approaches the termination of parental rights. I think that one of the advantage would be that once the child is removed from the home, the child is in a safety place. So safety is given like a priority for them, and also it guarantees that the child is not going to suffer anymore from the abuse or the neglect that they have been suffering from. And I think that this is very important because they won't be experiencing that abuse anymore. For example, I think this is a really big consideration for children that are experiencing sexual abuse. Once a child is removed from the home, for sure they're not going to be put in that situation anymore, so they won't have that traumatic experience. And that is one thing that is very important, because the more trauma that they experience, the more it would affect the child, and it can affect them into their adulthood. Advantage to this approach is that the child is going to suffer emotionally because of the separation that he's going to experience. And also he would be separated from his family and friends, so he would be in a totally new environment for him, and he would know of the situation that's being surrounded by him. He'll know that he's not going to be with his family anymore. He'll know that he's different from any other kid that
Another
lives with their family.
disadvantage
For Texas CPS would be that removing them from the home can disrupt their development because of the trauma that is created whenever they are separated from their family, their friends, and the people that they are closest to. Next, I'll talk about why is it a good policy for Costa Rica to keep the children together, for the children to have special needs with their classmates. I think it's a good policy because they are growing together with their peers, and it allows them to form those strong relationships with their classmates, which in return helps their social skills. And it provides children to learn about themselves. They can have positive self-image, knowing that they can also try and do the things that the other students are doing, and it allows them to become more independent as well. And not only does it benefit them, but children without disabilities, they can begin to understand about different disabilities that can affect other children. They can learn to be more compassionate towards others, including those that have disabilities, and they can accept others. So basically, it teaches them to embrace diversity. So next, why is it not a good policy? So one of the things is that if the child with disabilities has also behavioral issues, then the teacher needs to address these issues in front of the class with the disruptions that are being made. So as a result, when the child is being called out, it might make him feel embarrassed, and it might also affect their self-esteem. Another reason that it is not a good policy is that teachers can be impacted by the extra effort that they need to make to work with children with disabilities and making the different accommodations for them, which can, as a result, impact the pace that the rest of the classroom is working on.